So I figured since no one else is doing what needs to be done in regards to George Soros, I figured that I finally was going to make the petition to get George Soros tried in Nuremberg. I figured that somebody else might do it since they would have more clout than I do, more power, whatever they have. But I figured since that Al-Awlaki's dead, they caught another terrorist along with Al-Awlaki in the drone strike. They caught that one kid, Fardus or something. Ferdas, that's his name. Since they caught Ferdas, and since we have these protests on Wall Street, and they still haven't figured out who's behind them, except for if you watch the O'Reilly Factor, you'll have learned that George Soros is behind those protests of anarchy on Wall Street, since there have been some victories in the war on terror, but there have also been some setbacks, such as these anarchists on the streets who are saying, oh, let's occupy Wall Street. Believe me, anarchists, whether you like it or not, are terrorists, and George Soros is behind those Wall Street protesters. And if they did a thorough investigation, they would probably find that George Soros was behind Al-Awlaki and Ferdas and the other guy who got killed along with Al-Awlaki. I figured that it's about time that someone pushed the getting George Soros tried in Nuremberg, and I figured since no one else is going to do it, even though I'm probably one of the most hated people on the planet, I may as well push for George Soros to get tried in Nuremberg, especially because even though he was mostly focused in the Budapest area when he was working as a capo, he probably affected a good number of Jews in other places that were far enough from Budapest, but still within Hungarian control, including Kassa or Kosice, Czechoslovakia at the time, which by 1938 had actually gotten moved to Hungarian control and once again became Kassa Hungary. So, as I said, even though I'm one of the most hated people on the planet, not to mention that I don't have as much power and clout as I could, if nothing else, I was indirectly affected by what George Soros did because I had relatives who were in the Holocaust, and they probably lost a good amount of what they owned because of capos like George Soros. And as I said, if nothing else, let's at least push to get George Soros tried in Nuremberg, especially because when you think about the Al-Awlaki murders, the murders that Al-Awlaki committed, and now Al-Awlaki getting killed, and then you think about the protest on Wall Street and all that, for George Soros to get tried, it's 2011, so it's been 67 years since George Soros should have been apprehended, and if you want to extend it all the way to 1945 to 1946, then it becomes 66 to 67 years, 65 to 66 years in which George Soros should have been apprehended and tried. That is 1945 to 2011 or 1946 to 2011. However you want to draw that timeline.